let's look at you as a person that is doing this. Uh, how do you feel now? How do you feel as a transformational coach? Tell me about your feeling about it.
I feel that my life has more purpose. And every day I wake up, it's a new day to create and help people. Whereas before, it was just, okay, get up, go to work, do what you have to do. But I feel like I am living more of a purpose driven life now. Every day I think about the lives and the people that I can impact, whether that's just sending them a quote to just motivate them that day, and not necessarily coaching them, but just sending them a little word of encouragement will definitely help them. So each day I look forward to each day and the difference that I can make and the impact that I can make in the world. And even though each day it's a small impact, but it's a step towards the bigger goal. So I'm just every day it's just new opportunities and new ways to really implement um, the things that I'm doing into my day-to-day life and really live a life from abundance and not scarcity. Now, some days are harder than some because of the world we live in and the media and all these negative and all these things, and there are things that you do have to do to protect your mindset. So you have to have a daily routine to help you get navigate the world that we live in. Yes, we do live in an abundant world, but there's so much negativity, as you talked about before, that's being thrown at us on a day-to-day basis, that you have to find a way to deflect that and find a way to not let that affect your day. And I've always been a very optimistic person. I always look for the good in people and situation and opportunities. So that for me is not hard at all. I'm always been more of a solution oriented person and not a problem person. Like I always look for the solution, always look for the good in situation. But some days it's hard to look for the good in all situations, but you have to find a way to protect your mindset, to protect that as well.
Now, which are some of these ways, this strategy to be able to protect yourself? Because, like you said, you're going to have to build a shield down around yourself. Because one thing I've discovered, of course, I've also learned talking to a lot of people, is that when you want to stand out, it's not easy. It's not an easy part. This is a difficult part when you want to be in business or stand out from the crowd. So you are suddenly becoming in the attention of everybody now because you are doing something different from every other person. Because the population, the general population, irrespective of the country you are living or you are from, are not prone to be in business or stand out from the crowd. Everybody prefer to be in the crowd because, of course, this way it is cheaper, it is easier, it is safer. You can hide your face. You don't even have a face, no, because you are just another person in the crowd. But when you want to stand out now, you suddenly, for the target, people are going to say things about you. People are going to suddenly see how you talk. People are going to see your face. People are going to see how you dress. Everything about you is now for question. And we need to be strong about that because we are going to remember that we are here for a reason. We are doing this for a purpose. So I'm talking of this shield now that we need to build around ourselves to protect ourselves so that no matter what is coming at us, we are safeguarding ourselves so that we can continue to pull out and go towards our direction. What are your strategy? What do you recommend?
So for me, actually, I never wanted to fit in. Like, I never wanted to follow the crowd. I've never been that type of person. And it could be that I'm not a tall person, I'm a short person. So I've always stood out. I've always been the shortest. But that never bothered me. Like, I never had a problem. I believe that our differences is what makes us unique and make us who we are. And I think that's a strength. And so I've always used that as a strength to stand out in the crowd. I've never really, I think when I try to blend in, that's where I draw more attention. So I've never really been one of those to blend in and to be a part of the crowd and go with what everyone is doing. I've always taken my own path and do what feels good for me and what I know is right for me. So that for me has never really been an issue, but I know some people, a lot of people, that is an issue. You want to go with the crowd, and you want to be in the crowd, and you want to do what everyone is doing. You don't want to make too much noise. You don't want to shake up too much. But I've always felt you can't make a difference, and you can't make an impact by going with the crowd. The crowd doesn't do anything. They don't create change. It's the ones that stand out. It's always been that way. So I've always believed, just be yourself, be who you are, and things will happen, and people will always have something to say about people. Like, I don't think there's anybody in this world that people don't have something to say about them, whether it's negative or positive. So people will always have something to say, and you just have to learn how to not let that whether negativity impact you. If you And that's why you need to have a purpose. If you have a strong enough purpose and a strong enough calling for your life, that will help you to shield those negativity. That will help you to drive you to do those things, that to go against the crowd, and to do the things that might not be comfortable, and to step outside of your comfort zone. Because when you're part of the crowd and part of the general population, nothing is going to happen. That's not where change happens. Um, and so you have to step out of that, and you have to step outside, and just be able to show up. And it doesn't, because life is a learning experience. We're not going to have and know what to do in the beginning. Everything that you've ever tried starts out that way. You're a novice. You don't know what to do, but then you learn and you become an expert. And I believe, it's my personal belief, that you don't have to make too much noise to stand out. It's the ones, and it's been my personal experience, that the quietest ones and the ones that are not the loudest are the ones that are actually doing more. The ones that are making a lot of noise and saying a lot, they're not really doing a lot. And I've always believed that. And I believe that if I just continue along my process and keep doing what I'm doing, and every day making a little impact here, it will add up and it will speak volume. I don't believe that you have to make a massive change and you have to do something massive to have that impact in the world. That's not my belief, but I do believe you have to step out of that. You have to step away from the crowd to be able to do that and make that impact. You can't blend in with the crowd. It just won't happen. And you just have to know that that is part of the process, that you have to step outside of your comfort zone. Like for me, I thought going into coaching is that I would just be coaching clients and speaking to them, individually, and or maybe in a group session. I didn't realize that the impact that I want to do, and the things I want to do, actually calls me to step outside of my comfort zone and to do something like this, being on our podcast, and maybe be doing seminars live or online. So that's stepping outside of my comfort zone. But I realized early that was part of the process. And so anytime I got an opportunity to be able to help me to grow, to step outside of that comfort zone, I took it. And so sometimes, and in most times, I shouldn't say sometimes, you're gonna have to step outside of your comfort zone if you want to make an impact and if you want to make change. But if you don't know what that impact is that you want, you don't know what that purpose is, you don't know what that vision is, it's going to be a hard process.
Now, how can people connect with you, those who want to do business with you? because you are online, you have your presence there, and you are available. Today, we do most of our things online because there is internet. Thanks to that, so we can connect with anybody in the world. So people
Right.
that want to connect with you, how can they reach you?
Well, I'm available on LinkedIn. Just my name, Stefenie Lazarus. You can search me up there. Facebook as well, Stefenie Lazarus. And on Instagram, it's at Coach Stefenie. That's where you can find me.
Now, what would be your final thought here to conclude the conversation that we have had today? It can be a message, it can be just to reinforce a line that you consider important in the conversation. Please go ahead and do that.
So, this is what I just want your listeners to know, that along the journey, as I said, in pursuing your purpose and pursuing your passion, you need to have a support system, whether that's through a life coach or a business coach like myself, or having a mentor, or being a part of a community like this, or having caring and supportive people around you. You can't do it alone. It's a process and it's a journey, and you're going to need support around you in order to be successful. As I said, I wish I had, a coach or somebody to take my hand and hold my hand, and tell me what it is I need to do, and the process and the things that I need to take in order to get to where I want to do. I really had to figure it out on my own, and it took me a while. So support in this process is very important, and figuring out what your purpose is. What is your purpose? Sit down, write it out, and figure out what's your vision. What are the steps you're going to take to really make that happen? And then set goals around that. So, actionable goals, because you can have a purpose, you can have a vision, but if you don't take actions towards that, nothing will happen. So you have to take steps, you have to take action, you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and take actions towards that. And I'm telling you, doors will open. Things will happen when you start to take actions, small actions. And it's all, once you start taking actions, it's in the habits that we create around those goals, daily habits, small little habits. It will add up eventually. Maybe just listening to the podcast every day, and then you set goals around that to do something else. And then what's the next? The next. And that will lead to growth. And then things will start happening for you, and you start learning and you'll start growing. But the main thing to understand, it's a process, it's not a destination. You're learning, you're growing each day, and just taking the next step and the next step. And then the last thing I do want to leave with your audience is that know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge that they're facing. I know we're coming out of the pandemic, it was very challenging, and that a lot of people, they don't really know where to go with this and what to do. But know what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you're facing now. It doesn't matter where you are, where you live. Technology is helping us to connect us more than ever before. So the opportunities are much easier, and that you have the power inside of you to create that possibility for you, and believe in possibilities. All things are possible to those that believe. So you've got to have the belief as well, and know that anything is possible. And we live in an abundant world. Don't let fear and worry and all those things stop you from doing the things you want to do. It stopped me for years. I wish I had started earlier. But anything is possible, and you just have to believe, create your purpose, write it down, write out a vision towards that, and take actionable steps towards that vision, setting daily goal, monthly goal, yearly goals, and just work on those on a daily basis. I guarantee you, you will get to where you want to be, but you can't do it alone. You need support, and you need help, and you need a community. So if you have the opportunity to get a coach, get a life coach, a business coach, that will help to speed up the process. And being a part of a community, that will help you to speed up the process as well. And having support from your family, from your friends, that will help as well. So if you're in a situation where you don't have that support from your family and friends, find a community where you can get that support that you need, because that is also very important for your journey.
Thank you so much for that. That's really very interesting. I appreciate the time and also the sharing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with your community today. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be able to share with you guys today. And I really hope that they will take these steps and implement them to make the necessary change in their lives.
We appreciate that. Thank you,
Okay.
Stefan.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Thank you. All
much.
right.